I will be very, very fundamental today. Let us just start off understanding the meaning, aim, and scope of research. We will also try to understand what does this kind of what is called variables mean in research, and how should we formulate a hypothesis, research hypothesis, and how should we make a problem statement. If time permits, I will be talking. I will be going very slowly in the beginning, but later on we catch up because some frequency has to get balanced. I wish all of you listen to it. It is not that for the first time you are listening to all these fundamental concepts. It is, I am sure you would have known these things, but then methodology is a systematized way of learning things. We should know and use these steps in research very, very discreetly and also explicitly. Many people generally will have some confusion of the very meaning and definition of research. The very many people do not know how to scientifically formulate a hypothesis, a research question, and then a problem statement. Let us try to understand in the right perspective these steps in the beginning, and then try to catch up with little higher details like how to write how to do actually what is the technique of reviewing of literature, which is the real crux. And many people think even today, just reading the articles, reading the information, gathering the information is reviewing of literature. But you will understand that it is little totally kind of little different path. And we will try to understand all those things. I would like you to I will run through the slides that I have made for this purpose. I wish that you will note down two things. One, what is not present in the slides, which I am going to explain in detail. And number two, you will have to make your own notes along with the slides I share with you for the purposes of internal and external semester examinations. Please understand, research methodology is a basic fundamental way of doing research, which when you learn and become accustomed and acclimatized, I'm sure that you will end up with a lot of what's called research deliverables. You will try to understand what should be the ingredients of each of these steps. I will be talking about these steps a little later. But in the beginning, let me just give you one or two instructions. First instruction is that you should note down those points which I am not going to display in the slides, but going to explain very elaborately. Second, I would like you to make some questions and keep it with you. Every session, for example, every hour, you should make some 5 questions. It is extremely important, and you should submit those questions before I come up in the next session. I would like to go through those questions. So, 2 things you will have to do. One, make a very short cut notes on those points which I am not going to show as slide. Second, you will have to compulsorily make 5 questions in whatever that we discuss. It could be very trivial or it could be very complex. Let us just try to understand by questioning. Big things become easier for me to understand what you do not know. If you tell me very clearly and honestly what you do not know, then possibly solutions can be easily found. If I know the solution right away, I will be able to tell you. If I do not know, I will just definitely consult and come back and we will discuss that particular thing till we get satisfaction. So these 2 things are very important. All the research scholars hereby requested to make notes. If you want to vet that notes, you can send it to me. I can vet it and send it back to you. And the next one is asking questions. Please understand. Let me just start sharing some notes. Not sure what is happening. Hello, Dr. Anupama.
Yes, sir.
I am having some difficulty in sharing.
Okay.
How should
How
I
can I
do?
help you, sir?
No, it's opening multiple screens. If I open it up,
Okay.
multiple screens are coming up. It is that upper arrow mark, is it not?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, are you able? I'm opening the slide and
Uh,
minimizing
Sir,
it.
one suggestion is
Yes,
if you may kindly, before sharing, sir, if you can kindly open the PPT and keep it wherever it is, let it just open and keep it. Then, sir, if you can just then open the Google Meet, this screen, then try sharing with the up arrow after clicking the up arrow option.
up arrow. That is your entire screen, is it not? Up
Not
arrow.
really. Once you do that, there will be three options, sir. Your entire screen, a window, a tab.
Yeah, my
So
entire
you
screen has
can,
come.
no, you can choose the tab option or
Tab
the
option,
window
is it?
option.
Let me
Yeah.
just close it. So
Window
I have to
option,
use
sir,
the
if you
tab
just,
option
then you will
and
see
then
the opened PPT there somewhere.
open the PPT here, right?
Then
So,
if you can click that and click on share.
I'm not seeing the desktop option here.
Desktop will not be there. Try the tab, sir. Tab, if it is a tab or the, because on the
So
up arrow option, there are three choices. Your entire
correct. I have
screen.
used the tab option,
Uh,
and what is showing is Meet PhD coursework sessions. First
okay.
one.
I think you need to use the option of a window.
Okay, then I will have to cancel
Yeah.
this.
But in the meantime, before that, the PPT, sir, kindly keep it open, sir.
PPT is open only,
Yes, sir. Up
and
arrow.
should I minimize it? PPT?
No,
No, no.
no, 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 sir. Don't
Okay.
minimize that, sir.
Now I have to use window, no?
Yes, sir. A window, that middle one.
Okay. Now I should click onto that and
That one
share.
which is open, sir. Kindly choose that and then say share.
Are you able to see it now?
Yes, sir. Let me. It is starting presentation. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It has come, sir.
Okay. Okay. Very good.
You
Very
may
good.
want to kindly increase the, the resolution, that percentage on the bottom right,
Bottom right. There is nothing here.
16% or something. I think it is showing it's very faint. It might be increased to at least 50, 60%, and then put it on slideshow, sir. That would be better.
Moment. I have to stop sharing again and go
No,
back,
no,
is it?
no, sir. No, sir. No, sir. Don't stop sharing, sir.
I am not
There only
seeing
you can do
any.
it.
I am
Yeah,
not
yeah.
seeing any button. Any button I am not seeing. Only full screen I am seeing this. Okay.
Okay. Function F5, sir. Would you be able to press that on the
F5,
laptop? Yeah.
F5, F5. Yes. No, F5 is not there.
Sir, then, sir, kindly go to the. Can you see the top of your PPT, sir?
Yes.
Can you see that? That one option, sir. Kindly check that
From
if
the
you can.
beginning, no?
Yes, sir. That one where the cursor is. Yes, sir.
Has it come?
1 second, sir. Not
It
yet,
is.
and it's not on the full screen mode yet. But I think you can start off, sir. It is visible, sir.
It is visible.
Yes, sir. It is visible. At least now something is visible.
Okay. But let me just go back once
Yes,
again.
yes, yes.
Yeah, are you able to see now?
Yes, sir, but it's the title which has become more magnified. The
You have
entire,
to reduce it, is it?
yes, a little bit, sir.
Now you please tell me.
Still, sir, a little bit more reduction required, sir, because the title is more visible. I think you have more content. Yes, till your name it is coming. From research methodology course to your name, I think there is certain some more. Yeah, yeah, this is fine, sir. I think so. Yeah. Yes, sir. Perfect. Looks
Thank
perfect.
you. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So again, I'm sorry. We will start from now. Please uh, excuse me. It was a little bit delayed. Research methodology course. I'm not sure. Professor, Anupama will give the course code little later on. We will follow that. And today we will try and learn very, very basic. What do we mean by research? Why research is needed? What is its importance and significance? And what is this business of research methodology is about? Let us try to understand very fundamentals. As I told you, it is not the first time. You would have definitely known about this, but let us just recapitulate. The spread of the topics, subtopics will be meaning, aim, objectives, and definition of research. What is really the entity or the point that motivates us to do research? That is, indirectly, what is the significance of research? And what are these words like method and methodology? Many people do not know. There is a lot of difference. Let us understand that difference also. What is a method and methodology? And then research. In fact, the whole of today's 1 hour, we will talk on only these two words, the word research and the word methodology. Then we try to talk about something about very basic types, some 6, 7 types of research, which generally we, engage in or indulge in. And what are those, if we can put up some kind of concrete steps in research, a logical sequence that one has to follow so that he or she becomes a researcher. And those steps are extremely important. In fact, these steps only we are going to decipher in an elaborate way later on. And how should we capture this research methodology into a flow diagram called research process? Please understand one caveat here. One very important thing here is research is a lifeline of any academic activity. Any academic activity. Many people think research is possible only for science and engineering, and research is not possible for some other disciplines like dance, music, or for example, literature. For that matter, research may not be applying, but it is entirely very, very incorrect to understand that research is a word, research is a process, research is an activity, bunch of activities that every faculty, every department, every person who is pursuing higher studies has to engage with. Nowadays, even school level research is very, very important, and we'll try to understand the exact meaning of this word re and search. Let us talk about what is called try to understand meaning and then define research. Definition is the finer details excuse me, the finer details and the assemblage of words which will give you a finer meaning, actual embedded and latent meaning of the research word. Let us
Excuse me,
understand.
sir.
Yes, madam.
Sir, only the first slide is visible.
Yeah.
Can you please move to the third slide, sir?
First slide only I'm talking. It is not moving, is it?
It's not moving, sir.
Okay, then there is some problem. Then
Yes, sir. Yes. Now it's in the third slide,
yeah,
sir.
now it is moving.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Okay, meaning of research. You see, this research is a little, yeah, added word for the verb search. And the word research means a noun. Search is verb and research is noun. It is very, very important. Now, in this research word, we have two words. One is prefix, re, and the other word is search. Now, it is easy for us to understand the word search. Search is, something is lost, something is not in order, something is misplaced, something is lacking. So we search for it. Right? See, the very word research means searching for something not present. Exactly. See, many people do not know. That means we are searching a piece of knowledge that is not visible. We are definitely engaged in what is called a creative activity, or we are engaging in something which we try to find for the first time. That is exactly the embedded meaning of search. Searching is, it can happen superficially, it can happen little deeper. Now it is extremely important for you to understand the meaning of the word or couplet of words, like for example, see and observe, see, seeing is something that we see from our anatomical eyes that the God has given us, and we perceive things, we try to understand. So it is a sensor-neural activity. In other words, if we close the eyes, we are not able to see. But if we open the eyes, portal entry of some light and shadows, and we are able to see. So the anatomical function of the two eyes is seeing. But at the same time, we have another word called observing. Seeing and observing. Observing is the next graduation of seeing. Observing also includes seeing, but little at a deeper level when we see with our mind. Mind is something which is embedded inside our body, and we recall or invoke that mind and put to the activity of seeing, then what we see is observing. In other words, mindful seeing is observing. Please understand, we do not generally split up or analyze the situation like this. And when you analyze things become so clear and so nice. So when we apply mind for the function like seeing, then it is no more seeing, but then it is observing. Now, why should we observe? Why should we not just end up in only seeing? Yes, it's an important question. Seeing also gives some knowledge, but observing gives a deeper knowledge of what you want to see. That is extremely important. So, in other words, when we see many things at a point in time. But when we observe, we see one picture at a time with little depth. That is, we are applying our mind to that particular scene. Why should we do that? We should do that pointed approach because we have to learn so many unseen things in that particular frame of one picture. The entire research centers around here. Otherwise, it is not research at all. It is just seeing, and it is just being happy that everything is available. Let's see, we read the textbooks of 500,000 pages and be very happy with it. But we would not have observed anything. We would have learned many things, but we would not have observed anything because All the pages that we see in a textbook, we don't put this mind to it. When we put the mind to it, then the entire book becomes ours. The entire observation becomes yours. So, this is a beautiful coinage of words. Search is do searching mindfully. Do the search very mindfully. That is the actual meaning. Attaching mind to our activity, then the verb becomes the noun. Search is verb. When we do research, when we do the word re here means searching repeatedly, doing things repeatedly. Many things we do repeatedly, is it not? Repeatedly, we if we want to learn and if we want to make by heart, then we do kind of repeated work. In other words, by heart means by mind only. So if we make that particular reading so intensely, so focusedly, so pointedly, then what we observe becomes our own, it adds on to our dictionary in the memory, and we can recall it whenever we want. In other words, searching for the details so that details will never fail and they will rework and you will be able to see the entire picture. So research is all about searching for details of a particular topic or a particular issue or a particular concern or a particular item. So you select that particular thing depending on your choice and you start doing the activity observing, that is searching. And that we do repeatedly so that it becomes our own persona. In other words, gets ingrained and we get soaked into that particular issue, problem, concern, item or research area. So we need to understand the meaning in very correct perspective. Re means doing repeatedly, view, review, search, research, doing things repeatedly. There is a meaning for it because in one seeing, in one activity at one time, we can collect some information. But if we see the same thing second time, we collect added information. And we see third time, we get added information. Like that, it goes on infinitely. And things are so complex, you can go till subatomic and even at the God's particle level, you can go on observing. So there is no end for it. So searching, there is absolutely no end for it. See, actually research is always searching, ing, gerund. In word, gerund means do the activity continually without stop. Anything, walk means one time walk, and walking means keep on walking. Ing, if you add ing to a noun, then in grammar it becomes a gerund. It is a continuous present tense, continuously doing that thing every time, moment. So the word research has all this meaning embedded. It is searching intensely for a particular detail and details collection, doing repeated work, mindfully doing the work, and mindfully continually doing the work, so that there is a continued feed of that particular observations or points of observation that is just getting recorded in our brain. So this is the entire meaning of the word research. Many people do not understand that it has such a depth of meaning, right? That is the reason why I took little time to explain what this word research. Research is an activity, researching is a pursuit or a profession that we do continually, and all of us today, what we have assembled, have ourselves selected to be researchers. So our activity will be researching. Then only we will be called researchers, right? So we have to do anything and everything that comes across, make a point or select a particular area or a frame and go on observantly seeing it, so that you will go on collecting the information. That is in the overview or a kind of in-depth view of what is called the meaning of research. The two words make research a noun. Re means again and over again. It is extremely important. In other words, a researcher is always a repeater. Please understand. Repeater. He will always be seeing repeatedly, but with a purpose of gathering information as much as he or she can. That is the purpose. That is a sole purpose. Collecting maximum information about a minimum thing. In fact, that is the actual definition of research. Knowing more and more and more, not really entirely, but more and more on a less and less topic, less and less area, less and less issue, less and less concern. So there is a concern and there is an information, and the information about the concern, this information about the topic, you will be going on collecting, and you every time you collect, you get so much of a thrill that it is something new you have found out for yourself, and that adds on to the knowledge, and that's how the creation of new things happen, creation of knowledge happen, and that's how knowledge repository accumulates in the world. All the textbooks are product of research only. All the theories are products of research only. In fact, I don't think there is any activity which is printed or which is explained is not under the scope of research. Unless you do research, you will not be able to gather the information. That is very, very certain. And herein, we are all assembled to understand, select a particular frame, particular issue, topic, concern, and try to collect maximal information. Please understand, maximal information, not the entire information, because one's lifetime is not enough to explore into even one or even a fraction of a particular topic. That is the reason, even after you finish your PhD, there will be something left out on the topic which you will distribute to your students. That is how the things goes on and on and on. Knowledge is infinite. So you don't try to, tell everything of it. You know only a bit of it, but very close bit and very authentic, competent, and confident bit of the particular inquiry you will be having yourself, and that is itself enough for you, because one's lifetime is not enough to entirely accumulate entire information or 100% information, right? So that is a limitation, and that is the very characteristic feature of research. Nobody can conquer the knowledge in an entire mode, all mode, full mode. So over a period of time, when you become competent, when you become completely enlightened and gather enough information on a particular topic, then will your supervisor or will your seniors will tell, yes, you have acquired something new, you have created something new, you have given something new. Now you are eligible for a particular standard or a particular graduation or a qualification, so you can take PhD. That is how things goes on. But the heart of the fact is that we will be knowing more and more about a very pointed topic, very pointed concern, right? That is the actual fact. So for that, we have to do it again and again to collect closely what is the real findings or real new things about that particular topic. Search is to examine closely, carefully, test, try to probe and investigate. Please understand, they are very, very important. This is not the entire gamut of explanation of the word search. It includes so many things, but I have tried to concise in very little word. Examine closely, we call it as scrutiny. Examination of a particular issue closely. Closely here means mindfully, carefully. That means carefully means we are not mixing any other issue. We are not distracted by what is obvious distractions that will come in the path of research. We are focused to the point. Sometimes we don't agree as it appears, but we try to test it, try to understand, yes, whether it is correct or factual or finding, or we will deduce, or we will evolve, or we will see that it is what we see is the correct thing, or what we understand and seeing are the same thing. What we see, if we can understand in the right perspective, then that means the finding has become a fact. What you find, that means when you see carefully, you will find something. And if that finding has to become a fact, in fact, many people define research as fact finding. So fact is not obvious, fact is always embedded, fact is always covered with so many layers. We have to remove those covers, discover, cover, remove that cover so that we try to have a glimpse of the core. That is what is the research is about. So for that, we need to resort to tests. We need to be very careful. We need to try very hard in probing, going depth, and investigate. The word investigate is an activity that generally police people will do. Police people, if a murder has to be investigated, we need to put out who murdered and what was the complete meaning of that particular result of the death of a person, or or somebody harming somebody else. So police people do investigations. In fact, that is their job, that is their duty, that is their career. So researcher also is an investigator. So he follows exactly the modes of operandi of a particular inspector or a police person who will investigate. See, there are two words again you need to remember here. When we say that investigation is always confirming what we have observed. We get something, we see something, but whether is it that at all, to make it confirmation, we will have to repeatedly do. That is number one. And this confirmation is okay for you, you will understand, but is it same thing for somebody else? Okay, that is called objectivity. What you got, your experience, is somebody else, if they do the same steps and same procedure, will they get the same observation? Yes, they should also get the same observation. So a researcher has a double duty. One is to understand himself or herself, be very happy about what he or she has found. Then that finding experience should become somebody else's also, if they follow that particular path what you have followed. Then when two people, different people, find the same thing, then the finding has become a fact. Please understand, that is the difference between finding and a fact. Fact means what? Everybody, if they do the same thing, they get the same experience. That is what is called fact. So the research, if you want to define, it is fact finding mission. MISSION. Mission is intense activity to explore a particular thing, intense activity to investigate. See, these appear to be very, very fundamental. I am taking a lot of time because many people will not be knowing the depth or in the right perspective. So it is extremely important for you to know this. And when once you tune yourself, your mind, and you become a kind of what is called pursuer of these facts, then you are initiated into actual research, and you will appreciate every step. You will be so satisfied with every step that you follow in research. So search is examining closely, doing an inquiry. So let me talk about 2-3 minutes about what is the meaning of inquiry. INQUIRY. There is another word very close to it and also almost same, but little different. Let us understand what is inquiry. INQUIRY. I think you will have to make notes now. So inquiry means question. In means ask yourself. Querying yourself, questioning yourself is inquiry. That's what an investigator does. Police people question themselves and then plan an activity, go find out what they have questioned is correct or not. Okay, till the time they get an answer, they will not, yield. They have to crack the mystery. They have to crack the murder. Right? They have to know. They have to find a solution. There is no alternative. Finding solution is not an optional here, it is an obligation here, it is a duty here. So researcher also will take that up as a finding an answer as an obligation. It is not happening suddenly or by luck. It is by certain course of activities that you will get to know about that particular event or that particular, you will be able to crack the mystery. So inquiry is always questioning yourself. There is another word called enquiry, ENQUERY, enquiry. ENQUIRE, enquire. Enquiry, may I help you desks that you find in reception or in corporate offices where a receptionist will be there. They will also be kind of people who are, may I help you personnel. That means, can I help you? That means you are coming for the first time to the building. The building is a complex one. You have lot many floors, lot many people, lot many designations. And what you have in your mind, if you tell me, I will tell you where he or she sits so that you can go and find him. That is also a finding, but it ends up in that finding. So if you go to a railway platform, you want to go for Chennai, you have taken the purchase the ticket Chennai Express, and the ticket is there, but you do not know about Bangalore railway station. You are new to the city yourself. Then you will go to may help you desk at the inquiry point at railway station and ask, Madam, I have purchased a ticket for Chennai. I have a first class ticket. Can you tell me which platform this Chennai Express stands? That is an inquiry. So that person, as a receptionist, will tell, no, you can see the train is standing. It is in the first platform itself. The number of coaches, 7, 8, 9 are the first class coaches. Your ticket will be in one of these three coaches. There is a name plate, notice board. Please go and see your name, confirm your seat number, confirm your coach number, go sit, and you will comfortably reach Chennai. So you got a question, you asked that question because you wanted to reach Chennai. That was your mission, reaching Chennai by train. So you took the help of inquiry and you got the correct guidance. You went and sat, and train automatically went and stopped in Chennai, and your job is over. Chennai, that was your town. You are new to Bangalore, and there you need not inquire there. You know where to go there. So what is important in inquiry is you will get a satisfactory answer, and you will be guided suitably so that you will reach that satisfaction. But in inquiry, in asking yourself many questions, there will be nothing like satisfaction, but there will be a kind of what's called solace. Every question you put, every time you get an answer, and you will get another 10 questions. You will try to find answers. You will get another 10. So inquiry is something, or inquest is something, or investigation is something which goes on as a continued activity, and in the process you get continued satisfaction. Whereas in inquiry, one solution at a time, one question at a time, one satisfaction at a time, one job at a time. Whereas in an inquiry, it is a battery, volley of questions that you frame yourself. Nobody else give you the question, and nobody else will help you. Guide will tell you where the answer is available, but he will never tell you. He or she will never tell you. You will have to probe in yourself and find an answer. That is the difference between what is inquiry and inquiry. And researcher is always an inquirer, 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 asking questions. So, my dear ladies and gentlemen, please understand, asking questions should be your dharma. Asking questions to others, asking questions more to yourself, trying to get answer more to yourself. Getting help from others will be limited, but you will find yourself. So a researcher is that way, a self-made person. Of course, he or she will take some help, but finally he or she get satisfaction, which is so subjective. This is, satisfaction is always subjective thing, is it not? So you should be satisfied with what the answer that you get, and that satisfaction will go on giving more and more questions. You will be going on. So inquiry gives an eternal satisfaction mode, because you will be internalizing a very beautiful property or a characteristic of asking question yourself. So researcher is an investigator whose business is to do inquiry, asking questions and getting answer. And research, the process of this particular inquiry is always systematic way, and research methodology is that particular area which gives what is that system made up of. Please understand, system is a word which is very, very important for you to understand. Now, what is a system? A system is always hooking up of certain parts. For example, if you say computer system, there is a mouse, there is a keyboard, there is a CPU, and there is a screen. These are the parts, these are the appendages of a particular system, and they are all linked together. Only when they are linked together, although they have their own functions, keyboard cannot make you to help you to see, screen will not make you to put in keywords. Keyboard is something, or screen is something, or mouse is something, and the processing unit, central processing unit, is something which have their own delineated functions, and all these parts work in tandem, work in unison, work in some kind of process, and a systematic and a process. It is a system and a process, or a process driven system is nothing but what is called research methodology. So there is a process, there is a system which we have to understand, and all research methodology talks about this only. There is a process for everything, there is a system for everything. System, we need to know, analyze, analytically understand. Analytically means break down into parts and try to understand each part. For example, breaking down screen, breaking down keyboard, breaking down CPU, breaking down mouse, and trying to understand what each part is about, what is each delineated function of that, trying to understand. And process is always synthetic. Synthetic means what? Assemblage everything and try to get something, some purpose or function out of it. So this synthetic, as first is analytic as well as synthetic process, is the real activities that we do in research. We break down certain things, examine the units, gather the information, then assemble and understand the actual function. So synthesis, analysis are the modes, are the ways of doing the systematic way of doing the process. So system, process are two words which you need to understand. We have to understand both in correct perspective, like what we are observing, what we are understanding the word research itself, right? So what is important here is, it is investigation of a particular area or a question or a topic systematically. Now you know the meaning of system, now you know the meaning of the investigation or inquiry. And research is embedding these two words, doing certain searching work, finding certain unknown thing systematically in a particular cohesive process manner, in a process manner. That is the meaning of research. Now we'll try to understand what is the aim of this research. As I told you, please understand, the main aim of research is to find out the truth. Now truth is a very great word. Truth is a occurrence of many activities like searching, finding, fact getting, and fact getting graduated into truth. So searching is what we can understand easily. Finding is something we, a spin-off benefit of searching. Fact is finding becoming little longer time, or staying that finding for a long time. In a finding stays for a long time, then it becomes a fact. And fact, over a period of time, when it is practiced, when it is practiced, then you will see or get a glimpse of what is called truth. Many people say truth itself is the god. So that is the ultimate thing or ultimate aim of research. In other words, realization. That means whatever we are seeing at the face value is not the real value. We have to understand a lot of embedded meaning in it, so that we get that glimpse of God, that is glimpse of something which is imminently present in what we are seeing. And that is the philosophy. That is where the doctor of philosophy comes. What you see and what you perceive are totally different. What you see is a materialistic thing, and what you perceive, what you make a meaning out of it, is totally a different thing. Because in between this seeing and perceiving, there is lot of your personal involvement, your personal tapas, your personal meditation. That is how a finding becomes a truth. So finding becoming truth, find out the truth, or touch the truth, or have a glimpse of truth, is the aim of research, is the aim of research. So there are so many things which are becoming clearer now. So whenever we see an obvious thing, it may not be true, it may not be correct, it may not be the entire truth. For example, I give a small example which is very obvious for you, and you will be startled by it. Now if I ask you, somebody, where is your nose? Is it in the front of your body or back of your body? What is the answer? Your nose. Somebody answer me, please.
Sir, front part on the face.
Very good. So Our ears, our mouth, our eyes, our face is in the front part, right? Am I correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Totally wrong. Totally wrong. Please understand, biologically, human body is a biological system. Is it correct? Am I talking right? Human body, human race is animalistic. It's a biological entity. Any dispute is there?
No, sir.
No. So, human race or men and women are also animals. Please understand. That is the truth. Now, if I say these men and women are mammals, a class of animals, men and women are mammals. Mammals means, a person who has a mammary gland. Okay. And this is mammals. We are classed as mammals, right? And the characteristic of mammals is that they have what is called dorsal notochord. Notochord means spine or ಬೆನ್ನೆಲುಬು ಅಥವಾ ಬೆನ್ನು. Spine is in the front. Dorsal means front. Now, my dear person who answered that your nose is in front, nose is not in the front but it is in the back because ಬೆನ್ನೆಲುಬು ಹಿಂದೆ ಇರೋದು ಮುಂದೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವೇ? ಇವಾಗ ಎರಡು ಕಾಲುಗಳು animal has 2 hands and 2 legs. Actually they are appendages, they are locomotory organs, they are moving organs. Like for example, ಇವಾಗ ಕೋತಿಯಿಂದ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಬಂದ ಅಂತಾರೆ. ಕೋತಿ ನಡಿಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಕೈನಲ್ಲೂ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತೆ, ಕಾಲಲ್ಲೂ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವೇ? ಇವಾಗ cows are walking in 4 legs, is it not? So front arms and back arms, back are called leg, front is called hands. So when you say yourself, then your ಬೆನ್ನೆಲುಬು comes in the front. That means that is how you are defined. Research says such kind of very, very anomalies. Research is always correct. So when spine is in the front, your nose has got to be in the back. Your stomach has got to be in the back only. So where is your face? Face is always in the back biologically. Your eyes is in the back. Timingala ಅಥವಾ mammal in the sea, you have a big shark, big fishes like very which have mammaries, whales. Whale is a class of mammal but lives in water. So if you see whale, what you see first is the spine, is it not? The nose is down, the mouth is down, the eyes are down, it's in the backside. For an elephant, you see the spine front, your eyes down, your nose down, is it not? See, this is what is actual research. So what we see may not be true, it may be deceiving. Because man has evolved, he has started walking in 2 legs, he cannot realize that his face is backwards. The spine is always in the frontwards, right? In actual truth, in actuality, dorsal notochord means front spine. When the spine becomes front, our nose, our mouth, our stomach, our chest, our eyes and our ears, everything goes in the backside. So realistically, if you do research, your organs, what you see in the front is not in the front but it is in the back. Alva? Is it clear? Am I understanding? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That is the truth.
Yes, sir.
So what we see at the instance, generally we get deceived, and that is why we should follow the path of research to understand the correct perspective. When we have the correct perspective, then the virtual images are always very easy to appreciate. But we have to understand in the hard way what is actual truth. And that's what is research does. Research gives a correct perspective. Research gives a particular perceptual experience. Finding out that particular truth is extremely important. Even though it is mystery and it is little uncommon and unique, research always startles you. You will wonder. All myths and mysteries are broken into bare facts so that you will understand the bare fact, and always it is little different than what we see, right? That is the example that I give. Now, objective of research is The purpose of research is to discover answers to questions through application of scientific procedures. I think we have talked about it. Discovering covers are there. ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಲೇಯರ್ಸ್ ಮುಚ್ಚೋಗಿದೆ, ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ತೆಗೆದು ಒಳ ಒಳ ಮರ್ಮ, ಒಳ ಒಳ ಕಣ್ಣುಗಳು ಇದ್ರೂ ಕಣ್ಣು ಮುಚ್ಚಿದ್ರೂ ಸಹ ಕಾಣಬೇಕು. ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಸಿ ದಟ್ ಒಳ ಕಣ್ಣುಗಳಿದೆ. ಆ ಒಳ ಕಣ್ಣುಗಳೇನು, ಆ ಒಳ ಮರ್ಮ ಏನು, ಒಳಗಿರುವ ಹುದುಗಿರುವ ಅಂಶಗಳೇನು. ಕನ್ನಡ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ?
ನೋ ಸರ್.
No. So what I'm trying to tell is there are so many things which are embedded. There are so many things unseen. There are so many things which are, understood, but we will have to bring out, see and understand. That is where a researcher's activity becomes crucial. He will bring out that particular embedded thing outside, show it to others that this is not what you see, this is the correct thing what you see. So bringing out for the perception and for the enjoyment of his own self and others is the actual duty work of researcher. And that is the objective of the research also. Purpose is to discover. Purpose is to take out that layer which is obscuring, which is coming in the way of real actual finding. So that is the objective. Now the last one is definition of research is very, very important. You will have to understand each word here. Scientific and systematic search for pertinent information on a specific topic. This is, I can talk about at least 3 to 4 hours on each word here, but I know you people by now understood that each word has a lot of embedded meaning, and more you contemplate, more you spend time on that particular word, more information you would obviously naturally get it. So scientific, systematic search. Scientific means something which you test and realize, not just nod your head. So just because some great sage has told, just because some great people have told, just because some great people have printed in a great journal, you will not believe it. The scientific thing is, science means try to test and realize for yourself and then say yes. That is what is called science. Scientific, systematic. This system only we try to understand. By the end of this particular coursework, you will understand what is that system. But this is the first step in understanding that system. That is the definition of research. Searching, you know more than that. Such word search means what? Pertinent information, specific information.
So can you please change the slide? We are still in the third slide itself, the meaning of research.
Correct? Why?
No. I thought you have moved on.
No, I have not moved on. I am in the third slide only. Don't worry, I will go slow today.
Okay, sir.
But it is very fundamental. It is very important for you to understand. I am going purposely very slow today.
Okay.
Please be a little more attentive so that you know something we will deduce little later on, and it will get everything realistic later on. So it is a systematic search of pertinent information. Here, pertinent information is how you select a topic. What is the criteria? What are the elements that you should consider to select a topic? That because pertinence comes, focus comes, the pointed information on that particular issue comes. That is what is called pertinent information. Very part of information. Select information, select topic on a very, very, very small area of a topic. Topic is a very big word. You will specify the topic also. So definition of research, once again I will tell you: scientific, systematic search for pertinent information, focused information, related information on a specific topic. Please understand everything. If you do it carefully, you follow this statement carefully, you would do complete justice. You will never digress about your particular topic. So what do we follow by this? We follow inquiry method. Inquiry means what? Asking questions ourselves. Investigation technique. So by investigation, you will find a scientific information on a systematic. By doing a systematic search, you will select a topic and get or collect pertinent information. With that elaborate introduction, let us just understand now what is the motivation? Why should we do research? Why at all one should be interested in doing research? I will take 10 more minutes. Professor Anupama, do I have some permission? 10 minutes more? She's not there. Okay, I'll just take some time, some 10 more minutes to understand why should we do at all research, and then close the discussion on meaning of research. Some people, like all that we have assembled here, did get a desire to get an additional degree, which will definitely have greater benefits or greater, kind of what is called responsibilities. So we will do research. So that is one motivation. Getting a promotion, getting a doctorate degree, getting a good qualified researcher position, that kind of issue. So we do research for that purpose, not necessarily only for that. Some of you are really concerned over some particular problem they are bugging. Since you were a student, you were in college or even in high school, the problem is so much acute, it is becoming more and more. So you want to crack that problem, understand that problem. So for that also, research is done. Research can be done. So degree and problem. Some people, when they do research, they are even now, even today in the general parlance, researchers are kept in a little respected manner. Why? Because they are the people who don't mind that joy is coming from money, but joy comes from intelligence. By being intelligent, so they get intellectual joy. They want to get themselves engrossed in books and inquiry and always intense scientific work. So intellectual joy is their motivation. Some people want to serve society by solving society problems, for example, sanitation, for example, water treatment, for example, air pollution solution. They want to serve society in a manner which will, they have a positive interest in solving some societal problem. So they do research. Generally, all the problems, whether it is scientific, engineering, or else, have final goal to serve society, because you are also serving yourself and you are also a part of society. When you serve yourself, you are serving society also in an indirect manner. So you serve the society, you do research in understanding corona disease and trying to put a vaccine. That is a societal problem that you want to solve. So desire of serving society also is a motivation. And as I told, getting respectability is more a challenging, a hard work than a luck work. You can get positions by luck, you can get promotions by luck, you can get money by luck, but by hard work, if you earn the respect, that is research path, you get respectability. That is also a point in motivation. Please understand, this is an important slide. I will end up with this slide. Significance of research. Please understand, this is extremely important for us. Many people do not know that research is the basis for everything in life, everything in society. That is a generalized statement, but it is a very true statement, fact statement. You will understand, realize sooner or later. All progress is born of inquiry. So the habit of inquiry is the best thing for a person to have. Inquiry gives you a lot of knowledge. Doubt is often better than overconfidence. Understanding or questioning is much better than becoming overconfident or just understanding superficially, not in depth understanding. So doubt is a better option, because doubt makes you to be little uncomfortable, little curious, little anxious to really unravel the truth. For it leads inquiry, it creates a lot of questions, and inquiry leads to invention. Invention is something for the first time, new finding. So this is what is, Hudson Maxim has told, very important, I am very much moved by this particular statement, because here the great meaning of inquiry is being told. The very shallow meaning of overconfidence is discussed. the real meaning of inquiry that is leading to a new creativity invention is also very surfaced. So it's a very good statement. All the researcher's qualities are there in that. Researcher should ask question himself, try to be anxious, try to be curious, try to be observant, try to be doubtful of certain things, obviously that is present, so that questions he will get, and when he answers the question, he will find out a new thing. That is what is actual research is about. And research is the basis for not just necessarily human beings or engineers or professionals, but all government policies, that is society binding rules, regulations, acts, laws, are a product of research. Please understand, they are the product of research. Whether it is economic research, business research, market research, society problems finding, solution finding research, it becomes a basis. I am putting this specifically because many people do not know government cannot exist without research. Government policies cannot come out without research. And without government, there is always a chaos, disorderliness. So, research becomes the backbone of everything, not necessarily just the government, but also your life and your also industry. So, business, industry, government, farming, occupation, anything for that matter, research is a must. Research is a wanted thing. So, research as a tool of economic policy has three distinct phases: compilation of facts, diagnosis of the real problem, finding out the root cause of the problem, and after finding the solution, how to keep that solution for a long time, sustained down, that is prognosis. So, investigate, find out the fact, find out the problem, solve the solution, and see the solution remains for a long time. That is the sequence. That is how the rules, regulations, guidelines, laws, and acts of government are formulated. They're all research driven. Even in business and market, research is extremely important. It is a tool to solve many operational and planning problems. So, not necessarily only research means science and engineering domain, even in business, even in market, even in literature, even in writing a poem, even in writing a fine art or a drawing, research is extremely, extremely important and a necessity. That is the significance of research, right? It has lot of nitty-gritties, lot of units, lot of areas embedded in it, and each one can be inquired into, and information can be gathered, and new things can be found out, so that even occurrence of bad things can be prevented. Forecast research also is a business thing. You can forecast what bad thing can happen and get geared up now itself, get guarded now itself, so that you know that bad happening does not happen. It is also important for society. As I told you, there is nothing not touching society. Researcher is also a society member. So research is equally important for all social scientists. Even I told you, artists, even not just necessary for engineers or scientists, because the problems like unemployment, poverty, social order, personal law, citizen rights, social relationships, so much important, so much important. Social relationships is such a becoming a menace nowadays. Even marriage is breaking. The institution of marriage is not there. People are afraid to get married. Things are becoming so complex. So research can really throw light upon understanding the problems and finding solutions and sustaining the solutions for a longer time. So culture, heritage, social relationships, citizens, everything is embedded in significance of research. Now, I will stop at this today, and next time we meet, little more in-depth meaning of what is called methodology, and we move on to what is called hypothesis and making a problem statement in the next session. Thank you very much for your patient listening. I hope you have made some 5 questions. Please keep the questions yourself. Next time, soon we meet, I will be asking those questions. We start off answering those questions and then start off the next topic. Right?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I know it is very fundamental. Nothing new I told, but it was necessary for me to take off. Next time onwards, we will go faster.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, Professor
Thank
Vishal,
you.
sir.
Dr. Banga, sir.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah,
Good morning.
Good morning.
So shall I depart, sir?
Yes, sir. I will take over now.
Thank you.
From you. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, sir.
Good
Yeah,
morning, sir.
had
Good morning.
session by Professor V.K.M. the Krishna Murthy. I'm sure now you have started understanding as to what is research methodology. I'm sure he has given details about that. And I heard, of course, in the last 5 minutes I was there. That's good. Okay. Uh, now, let us start with whatever we have, taken up in the previous, session, and it is basically fundamentals that we were discussing about. Basically, data and population, sample, and some measures to understand the sample and how to use the sample to study the population. That was the basic details that we were discussing in the previous class. Hope those ideas are clear. I did not send you the PPT because I had to add a few more details in the PPT. I have done that. I'll be sending it today, part of the presentation. And furthermore, uh, I had shown you the slides where the syllabus, the curriculum for the data analysis and analytics was specified. I had not given the reference books. This time I have also included the reference books. Having said that, don't think the reference books that are given will be used completely. It is not that you have to go through each one of them in detail. We will be selecting a few topics from these textbooks. Okay, I'll be sending you the PPT so that you can see as to what are the books that you can refer to. But yeah, let me go back and show you those details. In fact, now module one, I did not touch, but for explaining as to what is data and what is a population, what is sample. Those are things that I was explaining. Uh, the reason being that unless you know some measure to understand the the data and its properties and the characteristics, it will be difficult for you to go through the abstract things. In fact, in the morning today, we will have slightly different approach in our session. We will have more of uh, simple mathematical things being discussed, because you had a lot of discussions, as I understand, in the first session on research methodology. And I think you know what is research and what is a method, what is methodology, what is structured, systematic approach to do or carry out research. Those are things that you have studied. Here in this session, we will have more of structured approach to studying the data that you gather or collect or get from some experiment during your research activity. Okay. With this introduction, let me go to the slide which we were discussing. We were having some statistical formulae for both the population and mean. We will continue with that only. You do that when I send the PPT to you. to you. Okay. And next important concept is frequency table. Whatever data you have, uh, whatever you have acquired from your research experiments, you'll have to represent them in some form. And frequency table is one such form. There could be multiple other forms, but this is one very convenient form, which say we can be using. I can, yeah. Anything to share with me?
No, sir. I think, Anita ma'am, you have to mute your audio. It's disturbing.
Oh, yeah. Please say don't be in the video mode, and also you please mute so that any noise that comes in will be avoided. Okay. Okay. All right. Now the frequency table that I have shown here, hope you are able to see the on a slide, right? You're able to see that, right?
Yes, sir. We can
Yes,
see
sir.
those slides.
Yeah, good. Here, I have given the example of, say, marks obtained by students. This could be anything. In fact, I have given some examples, number of defects in a program, and how many times the different types of defects, say, occur. Okay, that could be a table, or number of failures of devices from different, say, market outlets. These could be some of the examples. Okay, xi is the say marks obtained by students. That's what now we are having here in this say particular discussion. So mark x1, say 45 out of 100 is obtained by so many students, say 10 students. Then say f1 is the frequency of these marks 45. Similarly, marks obtained by students, say somebody has got 60 marks, first class. How many students have got, say 20 students out of 60 have got say mark 60. Then we can have f2 as the notation to represent that. So this way we have got a smaller number of say values. Each value occurs fi, say I value, ith value, say xi, appears fi number of times in the entire data set. I said data set. Remember that in the afternoon we'll have discussion on the data set as well. So sometimes the words that we use will be overlapping with the other concepts as well. In fact, I should tell you about data analysis, data analytics, and over and above that, there is something called data science. We will see all those things. Those are all bit of abstract things. I thought, no, let me first of all explain few things which are more analytical nature. That's what we are having today. Okay, in the morning. We have got values of xi, which are x1, x2, etc., xn, with the frequency f1, f2, f3, etc., fn. Now, basically, you have got, say, marks of all students. Simply, put in a piece of paper. Okay, what we do is to identify what are the unique marks. Say 45. Several students may have got. Similarly, say 60. There may be many students who have got 60, and so on. What we do is to write only the unique values in the first column. Okay, and how many times each unique value, say x1 has appeared in the data set, that's what I am writing, say f1. Similarly, how many times x2 has appeared in the data set, that's what I'm writing f2. And similarly, the last unique value xn appears fn times in the data set. Now, I'm sure people who have worked on some amount of data science, say activity, or in machine learning, data set is quite famous, quite say important. We will see that later again, say as to what is data set and how it is so very important in data science. Okay, so for us we have got n smaller number of distinct say values x1 to xn, which we have got from an experiment, and they are repeated fi times, f1 times, f2 times, etc., fn times, considering x1 to xn. Okay, this is called frequency table. Very simple. This is called frequency table, and where the distinct values that you have got from the experiment are listed along with their frequency in the data set. Okay, it's quite easy to understand. Now, the third column has what is called relative frequency. This is important in that soon we will, next topic is distribution probability. and some of the measurement of uncertainty that you have got in the experiment can be dealt with probability, there relative frequency will come very handy for you. There's a reason why I'm giving relative frequency as well in this particular table. You have got in the first row, you have got f1 divided by n, where capital N, I meant to say capital N. Capital N is sum of all the frequencies, basically sum of all data items you had in the data set. Okay, f1 divided by n, that is the relative frequency of x1. f2 divided by n is the relative frequency of x2, and it goes on. For the in a xn value, relative frequency is fn divided by capital N. Okay, capital N is summation fi. Now, just now see the third column and also the last row. If you sum all these relative frequencies, summation of all of them comes to 1. If you want in the notation, sum is equal to summation fi divided by capital N. I runs from 1 to small n. Okay, if you are mathematically inclined. I did not put that. I will put that in the, then send you the slide deck. Okay, so you have got for the given unique value from the data set, you have got the frequency of that being mentioned, and also the corresponding relative frequency. Hope this is very clear. It is not difficult as such. You can easily make out as to how data set is being represented using unique data in the data set along with their frequencies. Okay. Hope things you could easily understand, not difficult at all. Okay. Now let me go ahead. Now for such a data which is represented in the frequency table, how to compute the mean? You have got the other way of summing all the values of xi's with repetitions, of course. Okay, and summing all of them, dividing by total number of values in the data set. That's what normally we can do. But our data set has been slightly modified to have unique data values with their frequencies. Okay, that's what has been done. So in such cases, the mean is given by summation of product of xi and fi. Quite simple to understand. Say what you are doing here is to multiply x1 by f1, x2 by f2, etc., xn by multiply xn by fn. Get the product of the elements in the other data in the first and the second column. Okay, and sum all these xi's and fi's, fi's, the products. Okay, you get a summation of that. Divide that by total number of elements you got, which is in the frequency table, which is summation fi that I have shown in the previous table. Okay, and this is what is the mean or average value. It is called in full form arithmetic mean. It's also called the mean in short, and also it is called average. Okay. Now we said about basically mean is the central value, and all your data values in the data set are around that value. That's what I would say. Central value is that. Okay. All other data will be spread around that value or mean. Okay. Now in the previous class, we were also discussing about how much variation each value is having from a central value. That's what we were discussing. Okay, and variance its square root, that is standard deviation, are the measure of the variation from the central value. Okay, and to obtain variance, we have got simple formula. which is basically one variant of the earlier one we have seen, which is what? Summation xi minus mean whole square for every value of I into fi. Okay, it is very simple. Say you have got this table, you get the mean or average, and now subtract mean from each, say xi, meaning you get x1 minus x1 minus a mean, x2 minus mean, etc. xn minus mean. You can have one more table, and then square each one of these differences, meaning you get xi minus mean whole square. Okay, get these say squared say differences, then multiply each say squared difference by corresponding fi. So xi minus minus mean whole square into fi. That's what say you should get, and sum all these, divide that by summation fi. Okay, this is the formula for variance. It's quite simple, not difficult at all. And I'm sure many of you have gone through the definition of say mean and variance in the say degree, or in say even as I said in elementary classes it is being taught. Okay, but we are revisiting that. However, you should remember that at the uh, graduate level when you study or in research, because we draw a small a representative sample from the population, okay, we should be careful. However, whatever formula I have given is for the population, you should remember that. Now, in this slide, I will also introduce you to cumulative frequency. Mind you, all these are important in our discussions later on. When we take up, module module 1, of course, is descriptive in nature. Module 2, module 3, yeah, all this will be very important. Okay, cumulative frequency. Basically, you are accumulating frequencies. Okay, let's see what it is. Say x1. Cumulative frequency is f1 itself, x1 being the very first value. When you come to x2, what I do is to add f2 to f1. Okay. Similarly, x3 is f1 plus f2 plus f3. For x3, if you want to compute the cumulative frequency, what do? Its frequency you consider, and consider the frequency of x2 previous value, and also consider the value of x1, the very first value. So sum of the frequencies of x3, then x2 and x1 will give you the cumulative frequency of x3. Now coming to the last, we can continue that, and in cumulative frequency for xn, you will find sum of the frequencies of all the previous values x1 to xn minus 1 plus the value of the frequency of xn itself. So f1 plus f2 plus f3 etc. Plus fn, that is summation fi for all values of I runs from 1 to small n. So this is the cumulative frequency of xn. Okay, I have given the formula as well. In general, fk, okay, this is the relative frequency of xk, that is equal to summation. You will find sum of the frequencies of sk and all previous values of x. Okay, they are being considered. Now, capital F1, the cumulative frequency of x1, the very first value is small f1. And cumulative frequency of the last value, that is xn, that is capital Fn, that is given by sum of all the frequencies, which is nothing but capital N, as you have seen. Okay, so now you also know the another important measure which will require in the case of frequency table. Okay, let me take some questions if there are any. Is the idea clear? Whatever I have been explaining, concepts are clear. You have got a data set, okay, which may be a sample taken from your population. Okay, now for that data set, uh, whatever you have got, the sample that you have got, which is data set basically, there are a lot of repetitions of the data. Repetitions we want to avoid so that it will be neat representation. So you will have distinct values being written in the first column, which I call xi's, and how many times each xi gets repeated in the data set or the sample that I am writing in the second column, which I call frequencies. And hence we have got frequency table. Then we went on to discuss about the relative frequency, very important. We'll come to that again. Okay, relative frequency. And then we went on to discuss about the cumulative frequency table. Basically, that's what we have got. We can call, if you want to, say call by name, it is a cumulative frequency table. Okay. This is the fundamentals of statistics that we require. There are many others, I am not considering them. If necessary, we will consider them later. But these are all common things that we will consider whenever you have a sample or whenever you have a data set for our structured analysis of the data and making some inferences. Okay. Now, quickly, I will come to probability. Most of you know, I know. Why probability is so very important. Probably in our school, up to high school, you may have studied it just like another mathematical topic. But if you had taken that in your undergraduate or post graduation, you know as to why probability is so very important. Uh, you know, nothing is certain, right, in our life. Wherever you go, whatever you do, there is some certain amount of uncertainty. Some things which are beyond our control, right? Whether it is, say, selling some product in the market, we don't know how many people are coming to buy your product, buy your item, or if you're conducting some, experiment, okay, chemical or biological experiment, yeah, there will be some amount of, say, uncertainty. Okay, uh, data that you get will not be known to you for sure. There is some variation in the data that you get. See, all these things are important. So the uncertainty in life is common thing, as you know. How to deal with the uncertainty? Can you quantify the uncertainty? That's what is the major now task. In fact, all our discussions in a data analysis and analytics, we will have lot of dependence on the probability. You will see soon when we take up even the test of hypothesis, which we need to say carry out, okay, to see whether the sample that you have taken is sufficient for you to make your inferences on the population. Okay, there are a lot of things that we will see. We will take up them. Okay, and Professor VKM will bring you up to sampling. Beyond that, I'll be taking say in one of the topics in module 3. Okay. Now, let us now try to quantify the uncertainty that is there, which is prevalent in our day-to-day life. Okay. And if you go to, Silkboard Junction, which most of us pass through, whenever we travel to Campus 3 on the Kudli Gate, and traffic, you can't really predict. Okay. Now, such uncertainty in life, can we quantify that? Do you have a measure? That's what is the study of probability. Okay. Mathematically, it is quite intricate, of course, but we will not make it very complicated. I will tell you about probability and take you to probability distribution. And different distributions are already listed in the syllabus, which is there in the PPT in the beginning, which I'm sharing with you. Okay. Let us now say have the foundation for that. To discuss the foundation, I have taken a very simple example. It could be as complex as possible, I tell you. It could be, defects that we are going to analyze in your program, or defects in the product that you are marketing, or it could be anything. Okay. However, the experiment I am considering to illustrate as to what probability, how do you quantify that, or what is the measure of the likelihood of an event to occur, likelihood of an event to occur. We are quantifying that. That's why it is measured. How to do that? Let us now see that in not in great detail, but to some extent, it will be slightly elaborate. I would say. The simplest example that I'm considering is tossing a coin. Of course, coin should be fair coin. It should not stand on its edge. You should remember that. Okay. Normally in books on probability and statistics, you will say fair coin. Okay. Tossing a coin, which when you toss it, it will land with its say head or tail. Say which you can see, or rolling a die. Die, right? Six phase, say, small, which we use in, say, all, say, plays. Actually, we also use it in different plays as games. Okay, and each, phase of the die is, numbered. Number 1 to 6. 6 phases are there in a die, and all these phases are numbered. Okay, as I said, the tossing a coin will end up with either head or tail. Okay, and such experiments are plenty in our in our own domains. We will see such domain related examples later. Okay, let us discuss this. It's quite simple, not difficult. Okay, whenever you toss a coin, you have got some outcomes, right? You have got some outcomes. Getting head or tail are the outcomes. Getting now one of the phases, 1, 2, 3, up to 6 will be the outcomes. Okay. Now, what we do here to quantify the uncertainty, we collect all possible outcomes in an experiment that we conduct. We call it sample space. Okay. In the case of tossing a coin, S1, the sample space is denoted by S1, that is head or tail. Okay. And in the case of rolling a die, it is S2, set of all the outcomes. It could be 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. Okay. Very simple example. Now, tossing a coin, getting head or tail. Suppose that head is very important for me. Getting a head, I can call it a success. In case I end up getting a tail, it is a failure. Okay. So, success and failures are important ones. Okay. It is like, say in my program, when I run it now once, I get a defect. Okay. Getting a defect is a success in my experiment. Actually, it is not success, it is a failure actually of the program. However, an event of getting a defect in my program, that I am considering as a success in my experiment. Okay. Or yeah, that's sufficient. Of course, we will see the other examples later. Okay. Okay. Now, what is an event? Usually in a probability is defined, as I said, is a measure of the likelihood of an event to occur. Okay, that event occurs or doesn't occur. That's what is the thing actually. Okay. In case, say, you want to have a success in the case of, say, tossing a coin, success is getting head. I can represent that as a set. A set of say elements of a sample say space is an event. Say if I get a head, I say an event event is head has occurred. If say tail has say appeared, we say event tail has occurred. In set theoretic approach, what we do is to say have event as a set. A is getting a head, that is now it is a singleton set, having a single outcome. So A is say set H, and B is set containing only T. Okay, and how do you define say probability? Quite simple. In the case of tossing a coin, you have got only two possible outcomes, and getting in head is one of the two. That's how it's defined as P of A is equal to 1 by 2. Similarly, P of B, probability of say event of getting say tail is half 1 by 2. Let us consider second experiment. It is hope you are clear about this. It's a very simple one, not difficult at all. As I said, I have considered a very simple example to build the theory. Once you build the theory, we can apply it to any practical situations. That's what we are going to do. Okay. In experiment 2, you have got two sets, two events. One event is of getting say an odd number when you roll a die. And second event B is the event of getting an even face number. Okay, so in A you collect all the odd face numbers. In B you collect all even face numbers. Now, in case you want to know what is the likelihood of an odd number to occur, odd number occurrence of odd number or appearance of odd number is an event. That is say A, event A. Event A has occurred. It could be either face number 1 or 3 or 5. In either of these three cases, not either it is, any one of these cases, probability of A we call, because we are getting an odd number. That is very simple. Out of 6, 3 are odd numbers. So P of A is 3 by 6, or it is 1 by 2. Okay. Similarly, probability of getting an even number. Event is getting an even number. Okay. Probability of that is, again, there are 3 even numbers, and we are dividing it by the total number of outcomes. Okay. Hope now the example is very simple. Any doubt regarding this? Quite simple, right? Not difficult at all to understand. Jacinta, any doubt? Of course,
No,
if you
sir,
are,
it is clear.
if
It is
somebody is from maths, it will be very easy because they will have studied several times.
it's
All right.
easy only, sir.
Simple, right?
Yeah, yes.
Very good. Anyway, we will be leading to slightly complicated things when it comes to random variables, which of course we will see. Okay. Now, probability of the event A in general can be defined with all these definitions and examples. That is denoted by P of A. Normally we use square bracket. You can use even a curved bracket also, but I am using P of the A using square bracket. What is this? Number of elements in set A. After all, getting an say event is what? Basically represented by a set A, where you have all the outcomes which are the property of the event given, number of elements in set A, divided by total number of elements in sample space. Okay, this is also represented by small n of A. Okay, that is number of elements in A divided by small n, that is number of bracket SS, number of elements in the sample space. Of course, I did not put that. I will put that and send it to you. So probability of A is number of elements in A divided by total number of elements in the sample space in the experiment that you conduct. So simple definition of probability you have got. Okay, this is also called axiomatic say definition of probability. Don't worry about that. Basically, there are some axioms. We'll come to that. Okay, hope my example is clear. See here, properties of probability measure or whatever you quantity that you are having for the event that has occurred. Probability of an event is always between 0 and 1. Is there any chance that say probability is becoming negative or more than 1? Certainly not, because your subsets are nothing but events, are always having less number of say elements or outcomes in them when compared to the sample space. In the denominator, you have got sample space, say whatever number of elements you have got sample space or outcomes in sample space. So you will find that probability of an event not say going beyond 1. Certainly not. It is a fraction. Furthermore, it can never be negative number. You should remember that. That's how probability measure is say given or defined. Second, say property. If you have an event with no outcome, what is the probability? Probability is 0. And these are the two extreme cases you should remember. Equal sign in the first property. Okay. And probability of the entire sample space. Suppose the event is the sample space itself. One of the numbers has occurred. Okay. Now, probability of yes is equal to 1. Because very simple. In the numerator, you will have small n, number of elements in yes. Denominator also, you will have the same number, n, and hence n by n, that is equal to 1. Okay. And this is the second say property. Actually, these are axioms, but I am giving as property for our purpose. Okay. Now comes the third important property. If you have got two events, A and one more event B, either A has occurred or event B has occurred. In set theoretic notations, we write it as A union B. It is union of A and B, meaning all elements of A and all elements of B occur there. One thing is that in A union B, if there is a repetition, we remove the repetition, write only once, which you know from your set theory knowledge. Okay, probability of A union B is equal to probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A intersection B. You remember all the formulae, and can anybody explain as to why probability of A union B is equal to probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A intersection B? Yeah, one of you can attempt. It's very simple one, not difficult.
So because it is already there in the probability of A intersection B is repeated in probability of A as well as B, we are going to subtract once.
Yeah, right. In A union B, there are some repetitions I said. I said you will have to remove them when you write in the form of set. However, when you compute probability of A union B, A or B, okay, which is A union B, in probability of A, when you compute, yes, you know as to what is the formula. Probability of B, you know the formula, but you find there are some, say, in outcomes which are common for A and B, quite likely, okay, and those should be removed. That's the reason as to why you need to subtract probability of A intersection B, meaning A intersection B will have all outcomes which are common for both event A and event B. Okay. Now, to give an example, let me consider one more set C. Of course, I did not consider here. I should have considered that. I thought, okay, in the past I can say A is, you consider the, all right, let me consider the example of the rolling a die experiment. You consider A, which is the outcomes which are odd numbers. One of the odd numbers has occurred. Okay. Now consider one more set C, where C is the occurrence of the face value, which is divisible by 3. Okay. Divisible by 3. Now, what is C? Can anybody tell me in this case?
3
Let
and
me write
6.
3 and 6.
3 and 6.
C. Okay, let me come to that. C is equal to, you said it is an event, of course. Okay, C is equal to that should be a number which is divisible by 3. What are they? 3 and somebody said 6, right?
3 and 6.
Yes, 3 and 6. Now, A you have already written earlier. A is here in experiment 2, of course, 1, 3, 5. And C has 3 and 6. Now, if you consider probability of an event of getting an odd number or getting an number which is divisible by 3, okay, that is now P of A intersection. Of course, I'll have to go to the symbols and pick that. Anyway, I'll copy from here. It is easy for me. A intersection C is equal to, it should be how much?
1.
Probability of A plus probability of B. Probability of A is 1 by 2. Probability of B is, say, again 1 by 2. It comes to 1 minus probability of A intersection C. What is the probability of A intersection C? It is 2 by
2 by 6.
6. Yes. That is equal to, of course, 1 by 3. Now, if you want to compute P of A union C, what is this? Probability of A plus probability of C minus a probability of A minus C. How much it comes to?
1, 3, 5, and then 6. So 4 by 6.
4 by 6.
Okay. 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 minus here 1 by 6. Of course, you can have the common denominator and do that. So it is basically 1 minus 1 by, oh, sorry, 2 by 6, not 1 by 6. Sorry. 2 by 6. So it is 6 by 6 minus 2 by 6. And hence it comes to 4 by 6, which is equal to 2 by 3. Okay. So you will find here that the repeated elements in sets A and C have to be removed when you compute the probability of A union B, A or B, event of A or B occurring. Okay, hope this is very clear. These are the three properties. Having defined probability as a simple measure, number of elements in the event A divided by the number of total number of elements in the sample space. If you do that, you have these say three properties. What we do in axiomatic probability theory, we assume these three, 1, 2, 3, and then derive the other results. That's how it is done. Anyway, this is sufficient for us for our whatever we do in our course this time. In data analysis and analytics. Okay, having seen this, hope now the definition of probability and the how to compute probability, the properties say satisfied by probability measure are all very clear, right? Clear, or you have got any doubt? It is simple one. If you have doubt, you can ask me. Nothing to worry. Okay. Now there is one question before I come to equally likely outcomes. Let us go back. We had a frequency table, right? Frequency table, right? And then we also computed relative frequency and put them in the third column. I said sum of all these relative frequencies is 1. And you will find each relative frequency is a fraction, right? And each fraction is, say, more than 0, equal to it. It is not 0, of course, in this case, it's more than 0. Okay. First property is satisfied, correct? First property is satisfied. And you have seen that Xn has Fn. Okay, no. There's the cumulative frequency. It's okay. All these can be taken as estimate of the probability with which X1 appears in our sample or X1 appears in the data set. Similarly, F2 by N can be taken as the estimate of the probability that X2 appears in the data set, and so on. Okay. This is one very important observation, though we don't discuss further in great detail. You should remember that relative frequencies are estimates of the probabilities of the distinct values x1 to xn in our frequency table. Hope it is I made very clear. It's a simple idea as such. Okay, one example, whatever you have seen earlier, I am taking here. Okay. Now we will come to, all these are important when we take up the probability distributions and normal distribution, other distributions, which are very important in data analysis. Okay. When do you call outcome of an experiment to be equally likely? Okay. Now what I do is to have each outcome in my event. That example we already seen, in the case of tossing a coin, either head you get or tail you get. So event of getting head is represented by set A with only H being there. Similarly, event of getting a tail is a probability of not event, not T, that is represented by set B, which is singleton set T. So what we can do is to have individual outcomes or elements of sample space being taken out, have the singleton sets. Okay. Now,
Sir, Amit here. Can you hear me,
yes,
sir?
yes.
Sir, just I wanted to tell one
Okay,
thing
please go ahead.
is that in that probability of A union C, while the answer is correct in terms of 2 by 3, I think the probability of C is 1/3, 1 by 3, and probability of A intersection C is 1 by 6. So it is 1/2 plus 1 by 3 minus 1/6, which is equal to 2 by 3. So just
of course, I have not given you the other way
No,
of
no. In that deck you had written that, no, sir. In that, I just thought I will just point that out. If you can,
any
if you
mistake
can,
there, Amit?
it's just not mistake in terms of not in the final result, but intermediate, sir. When you said see, probability of A intersection C is actually 1/6, not 2/6.
Oh, yeah. There was a mistake.
And
Yeah,
then
nobody.
and
Thanks
therefore,
for. Yeah.
yeah, this is 1/6.
Yeah. You are very right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, this
There
is
was a mistake.
1/6, and then sir, probability of C is 1/3. So 1/2 plus 1/3 minus 1/6 it will be.
Correct.
So
You are right.
no, the previous one will be plus 1/3.
Yeah. You are right. In fact, no. Thanks for observing that. In fact, I should have written C intersect. Sorry, A intersection. C I should have written separately.
C is 1/3, sir. Probability of C is 1/3. No, this is fine. This is fine, sir.
I'm coming to that. It is a board, no, it is very easy. Anyway, in this, anyway, we will do that. If you consider A intersection C, you have only one element. You are very right. That is 3. Very good. Yeah. Now, B intersection C is equal to 1/6, and then you have.
The probability of C also you should write in that case, sir. P of C is equal to 2/6, which is equal to 1/3.
You are right. I fully agree with. I had a shortcut there. There's a mistake.
No, that's why, sir. When you wrote that P A union C, you wrote half plus half. One of the half should be 1/3.
Yeah. That's true. Right. That was that's where the mistake was. But thanks for identifying the mistake. Okay. So
no, sir. This should be 1/3, sir, not 1/6.
Yeah. Correct. Now it comes properly. Yeah, right.
No, sir. You wrote 1/6 again, sir. Sir, that one should be 1/3.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Now it is fine, sir.
Yeah.
Now it is fine.
Yeah. So I should have everything in the PPT. I can't do any calculations now, real time. So there's a lesson learned. So okay. I think answer is correct. That in fact I worked out separately, and anyway, this is the correction. Sorry for the small correction. C you have got, and probability of C did not write. Actually, it is 2/6, and hence it is 1/3. And A intersection C is set 3, and hence the probability of A intersection C is 1/6. Now, probability of A union C is probability of A plus probability of C minus probability of A intersection C. Now that comes properly. Yeah, thanks, Namit, for this valuable input which is necessary for the correction.
No, okay. That's okay, sir.
All right. Now, let us go ahead. What I said is that in all our modeling of the data set, what we assume is that each outcome will have same probability. That's what we will assume. That's how the concept of equally likely outcomes. If the probability of event of each outcome is the same, then we define the outcomes to be equally likely outcomes. Okay, that's what the definition is. Okay. Now, in the experiments of tossing a coin, fortunately, you have got only 2 outcomes, H and T, and both are equally likely. Naturally, you don't have any reason to say that head is more likely to occur, right? And the other way around also is true. So it is not 1/2. Now, in experiment 2, probability of getting face numbered 1, that probability is same as probability of getting face number 2, etc. The last one, face number 6, and each one is a simple one. In the event you have got only one element, of set you have got one element in this singleton sets 1, 2, 3 up to 6. So probability of each outcome is 1/6. Very simple to understand, not difficult at all. Okay. Now, let us go back and check the example that you worked out while explaining. Okay. See, probability of A intersection C is equal to 1 by 6 because there is one element which is common for both A and C. All right. Common for both A and C. And hence, the probability of A intersection C is 1 by 6. Now, in case I consider, say, event D in the second experiment, okay, experiment of rolling a die. The event D is, A is getting an odd number. D is the set of, is an event of getting an even number. An even number. That is a B. Now, in this case, if you consider P of A union B, what will be the answer? Consider A and B themselves. I'm not giving D now. I thought I will give D, but not necessary. You consider A and B, whatever are given over here in the previous example of experiment 2. P of A and B are given here. 1, 3, 5 is the event A. 2, 4, 6 is the event, say, B. Now, if you consider these two events, do you have any common, say, outcome in these two events, A and B?
No, sir.
Anyone, please? Amit, of course, you know. Do you have any common element?
No, sir.
No,
You
right?
don't have. Yeah, you
There is
don't
no
have.
common element at all. In such cases, the intersection, the common, say, set of common elements between A and B is a null set. Null set means set having no element, no outcome in it. And we said probability of a null set is 0. So, for the example in experiment 2, where you have got events A and B, A is getting odd number of face values, and B is getting event of getting even numbered face values. There is no common element, and hence, in this case, P of A union B is equal to P of A plus P of B minus 0. Okay? Now, one more definition follows, which of course I thought I will give it later, but right now I will explain that. If two events do not have any common outcome or common element from the sample space, and such, say, events are called mutually disjoint events or sets. Mutually disjoint sets. This also is very important. I'm sure many of you remember whatever your teachers know told you, or you have used, maybe that you have used also. Mutual disjoint sets are very important. And in such cases, if A and B are two mutually disjoint sets, P of A union B is equal to P of A plus P of B. The subtraction will have only 0 value, and hence you get now P of A plus P of B. And in the experiment of rolling a die, P of A union B happens to be the entire sample space itself, and naturally it is 6 by 6 and hence 1. Okay, this is, say, in brief about the probability I have introduced using two experiments, that tossing a coin and rolling a die, and up to disjoint sets have come. I'll, of course, I'll have to give that definition. I will give that. It is there in the next slide. I will bring it over here. And then we will also discuss something about conditional probability, and then move on to define random variables, and how these random variables are distributed. That also we will see. That's why the concept of probability distributions. Okay. Here, I said I am taking the introduction module separately because a lot of things are involved. Some of the things we have touched upon, of course, but exact definition of data analysis and analytics I have not given. I will give that. Okay, and only few things I have said. Data set I have said, and then comes univariate descriptive statistics and bivariate distributions. So here is where you have probability distributions and the normal distribution. So to understand this, and then bivariate distribution, of course, you require lot of say concepts which you have discussed say in the class, which will come very handy for you. Okay, with this, I think say you were listening to me, and also earlier to Professor BKM for about 2 hour or nearly 2 or 15 minutes. Let's take a break, and in the afternoon, let us now say resume the session at 2 or 2:30. What do you say? I'm okay with the
Two is okay,
2 or
sir.
2:30. Earlier
2
the
is
better, right?
fine, sir. Sorry.
Anand Kumar, what time shall we resume our session?
2 o'clock is fine, sir.
Isn't that?
2 o'clock is fine, sir.
One of you, please.
2 o'clock is fine, sir.
Okay, we'll, yeah, 2 p.m.
2
Okay,
o'clock.
very good. Very good. Kumar has sent a message. We'll resume at, no, say, 2 o'clock sharp. Okay, thanks. If you've got any doubt, please come back to me. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 2 to 4. But if, say, because it is a slightly mathematical, concepts, if, you are slightly, say, bored with the, topic that in the afternoon, we will probably conclude a bit early. Okay, about 15 minutes, say, less we will take. Okay, all right. Let's meet in the afternoon. Okay, bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So today we're going to go to chapter 2. Three, isn't it? Three. Very important. Okay.
ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅರ್ಧ ಗಂಟೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿದೆ. ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಏನು, ಸರ್ಚ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, ಬಿ ಅಂದ್ರೇನು, ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಸರ್ಚ್ ಏನು, ಮೈಂಡ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು. ಆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಇವನೇ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾಡೋದು. ಸ್ಕೂಲ್
Vedan, Vedan, class 10 class 2, huh?
ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಇಲ್ವಾ?